those guards at CPH, man, all they did was just sit around and watch Sesame Street. Sesame Street, of all things. And I'm talking about the guards at the local gulag. Now, it's been 20 years since I was dealing with these fascists. But now, I'm just still fighting them, fighting them. When something like that happens, you fight them for the rest of your life. And now I'm on the offense, and one of these days they're going to be shut down. They're going to be shut down. But I'm talking about the guards here at CPH. And it's true that when the one kid said that they sit around all day and watch Sesame Street, it was absolutely true. They loved Sesame Street. They just loved it. And I don't know what it was about Sesame Street that endeared them so much to it. Maybe they needed to learn their letters and numbers or something. But I remember at the time there was the Band-Aid commercial. Remember the Band-Aid commercial that went, "I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aid stuck on me"? Well, I remember that for a while the Band-Aid people were making Sesame Street Band-Aids. And the commercial had these little kids going, "I am stuck on Big Bird because Big Bird stuck on me," and "I am stuck on Cookie Monster because Cookie Monster's stuck on me." And remember they had those commercials that did that, and we used to make fun of those in CPH, and the guards would get so mad and would just throw fits. But everything made them mad. Everything, any little thing made them mad. Like also there was that song that was out at the time. Because I'm talking about 1990 here when this was going on. There's that song that went, "I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom." We used to go around singing, "I once got busy in a McDonald's bathroom." And "I once got busy in a Wendy's bathroom." And they got so mad. They got so mad when you did that. And they would say, "Hey, are you saying something funny? You're not allowed to do that. Down into the fiery pits of level 1 with you." And it made them so mad. Another TV related thing they did. Now usually just about anything that was on TV that teenagers in 1990 would have liked, we weren't allowed watching. See, we weren't allowed watching it because they thought it was a bad influence. They thought that it ruins your mind. Like The Simpsons or anything like that. Anything like The Simpsons. That's probably the main thing I watched in 1990 was The Simpsons. But they used to get really mad because of just about any show. Now, but one thing one show they were obsessed with though was the Andy Griffith Show. And I don't know if we were allowed watching that either. I'm not so sure because the guards there seem to be offended at just about everything. Even something like the Andy Griffith Show that's completely inoffensive. But so they probably didn't let us watch that either. Except there's one guard there who just loved it. And every time he came in, his entire day was scheduled around when the next rerun of the Andy Griffith Show was going to be on. And he kept talking about Barney Fife, and he kept calling Barney Fife Studmuffin. And he was the whole day he would sit there and say, "Well, it's 1 hour until Studmuffin comes on. It's 45 minutes till Studmuffin comes on. Half hour till Studmuffin." And then he turned the TV on. Usually the only thing we were allowed to watch was the Disney Channel and that type of stuff. Or stuff that was very, very tame. But when that came on, he insisted on calling everybody else in and talking about Studmuffin. Because I don't know, I guess it was this strange obsession he had with Barney Fife. And he called him that. I don't know why. he always called Barney Fife Studmuffin. Why? I don't know. I guess that Barney Fife, I guess he was just... Barney Fife was a real Studmuffin, I guess. Man, that Barney Fife. And I remember they used to have those commercials on cable for the reruns for the Andy Griffith Show. I think it was the WGN used to do this. And a commercial, it's like everybody... Like the whole point of these commercials was everybody was scheduling their lives around getting home in time to watch the Andy Griffith Show. And at the end, there's this goofy picture. One version of the ad had Andy Griffith coming up, his face coming up when the sun went down, his face went up over the horizon. Another version had Barney Fife, and it looked goofy because this picture of Andy Griffith would come up, the sun would go down. And then Andy Griffith's picture would come up in place of the sun, and it would go like that. And it was funny to see it. It was goofy. It was so goofy. And one other version had Barney Fife doing the same thing, going like that. And it was funny. And it was people, and the whole commercial was like people with office jobs trying to get home in time to watch it. And they'd be sitting there with their typewriters, and their typewriters would ding, like to the tune of there's the bell on the typewriter would go ding, 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 like to the tune of the Andy Griffith theme song. And and it was but it's like their whole lives revolved around it. And I used to be the same way with the Dukes of Hazzard, but at least back then the Dukes of Hazzard was new, you know. Oh man, but that was now Dukes of Hazzard. I think that was something else that the CPH guards wouldn't let us watch, was Dukes of Hazzard, because I think because it bred disrespect for authority or something like that. They said every type of music, almost every type of pop music was druggy music according to them, except for New Kids on the Block and that type of stuff. New Kids on the Block and I mean, they thought the Bee Gees were druggy music. They thought smoke a joint, smoke a joint. They thought they were druggy music. And they thought every TV show we liked was a druggy show. Everything to them was druggy this, druggy that. Everything was druggy to them. Druggy, druggy, druggy. It's like, and if you were perfectly clean your whole lives, it's like, well, we're trying to prevent you from becoming a druggie. That's why you're here. Because if you're not here, you're going to end up in jail, or you're going to become a druggie, or both. And that's why their whole industry was completely based on a big lie. Based on a big lie. And it was a fascist industry. And now, of course, I notice now, like I find like some of the guards on Facebook and on the internet and stuff, and of course, naturally, now they're like on all these conservative right-wing websites now. A big surprise there, huh? I mean, they were conservative too. I remember there was some Supreme Court justice that was being appointed around that time. I don't know what justice it was, but I remember one of the guards. I remember overhearing the guards talking. He said, "Well, I sure hope he's conservative," because that was their political leanings. But that's today's episode for you.